we also live in a weird era where like we don't get bad games anymore. People complain. Everything is relative, and everybody likes to just. They that's exactly the point that I think Deg is upset about. It's like people just want to complain. It's not that everything sucks. I mean, in a certain sense, there's a lot of stuff out there that sucks, and I hate it. But not because it's not well made. It's usually because of some other reason, and that's mostly what it is now. It's like if they released Marathon today, it could have some problems, but it's like if you line up a Toyota Camry, a 2025 Toyota Camry with like a fast car from like a 95 Mustang or something, some kind of like car that looks like it's built for speed, and the Camry just blows it out of the water because it's just like we're at a place where like the tech is just better. It's
even
like,
the Camrys are good. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah. It's like that's just how it is. It's like games, for the most part, can't just be like unplayably bad. Like when we were kids, they would release like THQ would release like some licensed Nickelodeon game that was just dog. And it was like not playable. And we don't have that anymore because now.
And we bought it. I bought the Grinch Dreamcast game.
Oh my gosh! Oh my god!
Like, that game was.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Grass Touchers, the show where the three of us pals talk about video games, how little time we have for them, but how much we're enjoying them anyway. I am Jake.
I'm Jared.
And I'm Greg.
We've got a packed one for you folks. We're going to go over Dune Awakening. We're going to talk about Bungie, Marathon. We're going to talk about Xbox and Microsoft's plans for the platform, and maybe a little bit of DK Bonanza. Jared, how's it going? What you been playing?
It's been going good. I'm not going to take up much time because I know you guys have a lot of gay stuff to say about Dune. But I've been playing.
Yes.
I've been playing Dota. I've been playing Dota, and I had a monstrous losing streak that I went on, and then now I'm on. Definitely on the up. I'm really tearing it up. I'm locked in. It's the type of game where if you don't play it often, you lose. You really fall off. But I'm really getting it back, and it's great. I'm enjoying it, and got a gun for my birthday, and that's cool. And that's all I got going on. So let's hear about this Dune action.
Dag Awakening.
As far as games go, for me, it's been Dune. I truly want to play Siege X. I'm excited to do that, but I have not yet.
It's on the menu.
I will just sum it all up by saying it reminds me of when I played WoW for the first time. Like that excitement to log on, the giddiness of did my buddies, did they discover something without me? You know, which of course they have. I just haven't played it in 2 or 3 days. Just that joy has been captured by this game. You know, it's very good. I do have some concerns for like longevity, but I don't need to worry about that right now because I'm enjoying the game right now.
That's a tomorrow problem for sure.
That's tomorrow Deg's problem for sure. But I'm just having an absolute blast playing that game when I do have a chance to play it. I texted Jake on Saturday. I guess it was Saturday. And I said, dude, I had a Dune dream. Like,
crazy to me, dude.
Like full evening. Like the whole dream was like I was in the world doing the thing.
On Arrakis.
I was
dagging it up on Arrakis.
Just dagging it up. Just Just it's no, it's a blast. The game is certainly not without its faults and without its weirdness. And I would just say, I'm sure Jake's going to touch on this a little bit more because he's our resident Dune fiend. But
It's true.
it does have its, its MMO weirdness. There's some buggy weirdness to it that's kind of part of the charm, I think, of any MMO. But I love it. I've been having a blast playing that. That's basically what I've been playing. Jake, what about you?
Well, I'd be lying if I said I played anything other than Dune, because it's all I want to play. It's all I think about playing. It's all I talk to my homies at work about playing. It is the thing that I want to spend my time doing, because there's a progression, at least on the server that we're on, where you can see people's bases kind of migrating from the southern region where you begin up into the Gap, up into the Rift, and then still further up north into a more challenging area. And then there's another progression into the 5th tier of materials where we're going to probably move again. But we have an interesting dynamic who we've been playing with. It's me and Greg, and also my friend Jason from work, who we played Siege with that one time. Shout out Jason. There's this cool thing that's happening where asynchronously, right? Jason gets on, but I'm not on. Or I get on for just like an evening by myself and nobody else is on. Or me and Deg get on and then Jason gets on later. There's all this async action happening, but you can't lose, because if you just get on by yourself, there's probably some side quest or story quest or nearby point of interest or thing that you could go do and get lost in the game and enjoy it, because much of the game is soloable, right? There's a few dungeons that are not. I'll get into that later, because I found, oops, I died. Can't do that one by myself, because there's no way to know until you get in it, and you're like, oh, I'm dead now. And Jason, he has a little, the way he has structured his life around this game is really funny, because he talks to me at work. He's like, all right, so tonight I'm going to be on. Tomorrow I got to cut the grass. I'm going to be on again. He's like telling me his plans. And it's sick, because I'll log on and he will have like given our base that we've built like a whole facelift, or he moved the stairs around so it's like more logical how we get to stuff. And he'll put more storage crates in helpful places. And we'll get to a point where all three of us are on, and he catches us up, me and Greg, because I thought I loved this game. I thought I was putting some hours in. Excuse me, Deg.
Yeah, who's Greg? Is that a fourth guy?
Who the is that?
I mean,
Deg's looking at me like, nah, I've been cheating on him. So Jason will get on.
Say her
like,
name.
Right.
Say it.
I'm sorry. Happy Pride, everybody. Jason will catch us up on what he's been doing for the base. Like he'll run out and farm a crap load of some mineral or metal, and then he'll come and like refine a bunch of ore into ingots, and he'll gather corpses and put them in the death still so that we have a continual source of water. And so we log on, and Jason's like, "What's up, guys? Here's what I've been up to. We're set." And me and Greg are like, "Oh, okay, great. How can we help?" Like, what? It's crazy. And so it's not a problem, but I have considered, if we didn't have him on our team, so to speak, we made a guild and everything. I think I would be experiencing the game at a slower pace. And the fact that we're all working together as a team is more exciting. And I can't think of a time where a multiplayer game has made it so that all three of us, or more as the case may be, can contribute to an overarching goal just asynchronously. When you're ready, when you have time, you hop on, your buddy's farmed you a bunch of stuff. You can go ahead and craft that new weapon you've been waiting to craft, because he's already got you covered with all the aluminum you could ever need, or whatever. So where we're at right now is Jason has kind of breezed through a good chunk of the story and done some questing, but his research and his crafting has been more like structural and mining, so that our base can progress and we can build buggies and ornithopters, which are the larger vehicles. We can fly now. He built an ornithopter. Did he tell you? We can fly.
I didn't know that. I didn't know we had one now.
He pulled it off. He crafted our first ornithopter. And I've been focusing on researching on the research tree weapons and armor. So I'm a class that is like ranged DPS and a little bit of crowd control and like poison damage and dot damage. So I've been crafting, like I crafted a rapier, which has the rapier has made it so that my melee combat weakness can be shored up, because it's just something you can craft. You know, you're not limited by your class on what you can equip or not equip. You might have bonuses and passives and stuff that helps you with certain guns or swords, or as the case may be, but you can pivot to any class really, because you can just go to the trainer of that class, do a quest for them, and they give you like level 1 of all those skills. You go to do their next quest and you get level 2 of all those skills. And there's, I think, a third quest that you can do. But I think only your original class can you get the top tier 3 like really powerful skills. Because you have to go to the advanced trainer for that, even if you did choose that class. So I'm a Mentat, and so I'll have access once I go to the advanced trainer to use the Hunter Seeker drone, where you can like FPV drone target this thing and like drive it into a bad guy.
An Obama
but I've
drone.
also, the old MQ-9 Reaper. God, again with the reaping.
I was gonna say there's a lot of R words being thrown around in this game.
So I have a real sort of positive outlook on this game. The legs, and Deg, I want you to chime in here. The legs this game has are pretty sick. Okay, this is a real leggy game. I think you could play it until you die of old age, because the desert's big and there's always more cool stuff to find and do and discover. There are PvP areas, but if you're on a normal server like we are, it's basically PvE. 95% of all the places that you can go. There are some places, specifically the shipwrecks. There's like big ships that have come and crashed in the sand. You have to go to the shipwrecks in order to get certain resources. And if you don't go into those shipwrecks and get those certain resources, there's stuff you cannot do. There's stuff you cannot craft. You're going to need them. And so the game does force you to go to PvP zones, but I have yet to actually have to like fight a real dude. I find that for the most part on our server, the progression makes it so that I can go to the shipwrecks wherever I want. And there's more than one shipwreck, right? There's so many that if it seems like most of the people on your server have congregated in a certain area, like I was saying earlier, everybody's kind of migrating their bases north. We're trying to do that now so that we can get some good real estate for our base. You can probably just go to some other shipwreck that's less busy. The one that we're on was low population when the game first launched, and I have a feeling that some of the late adopters of the game got in it as opposed to the super early grind straight to the deep desert guys. The actual end game, where you have like finished all the things in the PvE zone and you want to get the top tier loot and weapons and unique schematics and stuff, go actually like get spice out of the desert like you see in the movies and stuff. That is all PvP, and that area is, as it stands right now, looking at the subreddit and looking at YouTube videos, it's pretty contentious. There's a lot of people that have some strong feelings about it. Once you max out the ornithopters, the flying vehicles, they are the only way that you get around, and they are the only way that you like engage in combat in PvP, because the whole point is to get a big cargo ornithopter, pick up a sand crawler, go to a spice blow where there's purple spice everywhere, drop that son of a gun, get it to suck up as much spice as you can, try to distract the sandworms with gadgets, with thumpers and different things. And then before the big worm comes, because it's always going to come, you got to get that cargo ornithopter to come down and grappling hook that sandcrawler again and get it out of there. All the while, you're fending off other players. Well, those other players are coming in ornithopters, and they've got rocket launchers, and they're just coming for you with those. There was a thing that they did recently where ornithopters could do damage if they crashed into a player or an NPC, but ornithopters did not take damage when they collided with terrain. All vehicles, this is the case. They literally take no damage from like colliding with terrain. They have a durability mechanic, right? They can sort of wear down over time, but it's not because of terrain collision. So people were Goomba stomping guys on the ground with their ornithopter because they can do so with impunity. So they would go and crush you with an ornithopter and then just like fly away, because they're not going to take damage and you're probably not going to shoot them out of their own cockpit. That's probably not going to happen. Well, they patched that out of the game. They reacted pretty quickly. It seems like whatever's active in the subreddit, whatever people are asking for, they do seem to like address and care about. There's been some great patches so far. The way they patched it was now you don't take damage either if a vehicle collides into you. So they're still gonna like be around and be harassing you and doing things, but they can't just crash into you, and they can't damage you. I don't know if they can push you around, but anyway, I say all that to say the deep desert is like stiff competition. People are really out there trying to huff up some spice with those spice harvesters, and I don't know how it's going to evolve. By the time we get to the point that we're doing that, the meta, so to speak, and the way that the deep desert works could change, with patches and stuff. So the good thing is there is other stuff to do out in the deep desert. The dungeons that I mentioned earlier also exist in the deep desert, and they are very similar to what you would call a raid in WoW or something. But there's also more legit raids coming on the horizon, I think is what they said. So, Dag, continue, thoughts, in-game, what are your prognostications about Dune and how it will go in the future for us?
Honestly, you did like a really good job summing up a lot of my thoughts. So I don't have a ton to add, but that is my biggest concern about the game is like long-term, what's it going to look like? What's good? What, like when I log on in 2028,
right.
What's my hour of gameplay going to be? Right. And that was ultimately what kind of drove me away from WoW was I got into college and I was like super WoW obsessed in high school. And because I had the time to play 4 hours a day.
Right. I
got into college and I didn't have that time anymore because I was busy, chasing Doc Askew's, affection and, and so,
you were chasing Doc Askew's.
Well,
oh my gosh.
Sometimes probably also. But yeah, let's cut that one out. But I've had a blast with the game. It's incredible. The game has legs. How those legs will extend long term does concern me because of the aesthetic of the game, right? Like, is it going to be desert forever? Or are we going to start to get some unique, maybe other planets, things like that?
Sure, right. Fair question.
You can only go so far with the aesthetic. In a movie form where you're watching like a 2-hour movie, Dune Part 2, which is amazing, right?
Such a good movie.
Yeah. It works for that, right? But I do worry long term how they're going to satisfy that rabid fan base, right?
Right.
All that to say, I love it. It's the most fun I've had in a game in a very long time, and I hope it continues. So
yeah, man, I agree with your point about the terrain and the vibe. That's not to say there's not any variety, because somehow they've managed to get a lot of variety into the desert. There are high highs and low lows, like topographically. The rift I mentioned earlier is this cavernous Grand Canyon thing where it is so far below the surface, even in broad daylight upstairs, like out on the sand, you go down there and you have to turn your headlights on because it's really dark. And there's like, is it like three or four kind of stories, so to speak?
Yeah,
right? Where
like
it's
levels to the
in the middle, the ravine goes just all the way down to the abyss, and I think you would die if you fell in it. But sort of on the outskirts of that is these levels with like structures and buildings that have been built into it, mining facilities, and then there's these research outposts that on the inside are like a botanical garden that have greenery and water and much different sound design. The sound design is incredible in this game. Oh my gosh. I'll tell you just a short story and we'll wrap up the Dune segment, I promise. The other night I got on and I said, I'm not going to stay up late. I'm not going to do it. I'm going to get on. I'm going to go do a couple of quests, especially the trials that you advance the story with and learn more about the Fremen. I got one of those to do. I need to go find where it is and go do it. and I'm gonna return to base and go home, or return to base and go to bed.
Yeah.
So I looked up where on the quest there. I've been trying not to Google stuff really. I looked up on the quest the hint of the location, and I found I needed to go pretty far to the east. So I put a marker on my map. I got on my sand bike, and I just zipped on away to that area. Well, I was a little over halfway on my first leg of the journey there, and I get my little notification pop up that says you have 20% fuel remaining. And I was like, no big deal. There's a great radio menu to solve this problem. I held F and I moved my cursor to fill up with fuel, and it said no fuel supply. I looked at my backpack, looked at my inventory. I didn't bring any spare fuel for my sand bike. And so where I was going was by this rift that I mentioned. I'm trying to stay on top of the rift on the surface and not fall down into the darkness. And I'm like, I don't think I can make it all the way to the thing that I'm trying to get to. I better get off my bike and search around for fuel, because you'll find fuel if you just run around and go to enemy bases and clear out NPCs and do stuff. You might find some vehicle fuel. You guys, I found 0 vehicle fuel. So I just burned the rest of it. And spoiler alert, after you're 20%, it gives you another warning when you're 10%. Then it gives you another warning that says running on fumes. The game says that, like, you are running on fumes. So I put my bike away because you can store it in this like gadget. And I just kind of hoofed it the rest of the way. And I felt so immersed because I inadvertently created an actual survival mechanic for myself, which is, what if I don't have a bike? I have a water bottle, which is called a Leader John. And I have a Dew Reaper. I have this tool that will help me survive if I can just time it right at nighttime and go get some water off of these plants. And we started calling these plants bush ice affectionately, because it's a bush that you're sucking dry. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So bush ice. I had to go every, in game every 24 hours, but in real life every 20 minutes or whatever. I'm bending down and sucking some bush ice. Finally make it to my point of interest. Still no vehicle fuel everywhere I've searched. I do the quest. Very cool. More Fremen stuff. More lore. And then I'm like, all right, well, I guess I need to go back to base. Still don't have fuel. So I just like zip, zag, zip, zappity, boop, bop all over the map on my way to base, and still never found any vehicle fuel. But I did find a cave that I could hide out in that did not have any NPCs in it. And that's where I logged off. Because you can log off just sort of anywhere. But it was such a blast, you guys. I went to bed at a little past 1 o'clock, and I definitely stayed up later than I meant to. But
right.
it was just kind of worth it. It was just something that I could sit there and do and get lost in. And between the sound design and the visuals and the survival and learning a little bit more about how to get good at the game and scrounge together an existence in the desert, it's like, man, I feel immersed.
Is it not canon that you can't, like, don't they do that stupid crip walk thing in the movie to keep the sandworms from trying to eat them or something?
So that's called the sand walk. It is not in the game, but you can get basically it's so slow that it would be kind of impractical and gay to have in the game. Okay. Right. So you wouldn't want to do it. As of
impractical
right now,
and gay.
As of right now, it's not in the game. But I could see them making it like a quest reward that you gain an emote that is, a sandwalk or something. So I do have some boots that have a pretty good armor value, and they have a 40% reduction in sandworm attraction. Since that's a mechanic, obviously, they got to work on in the game. So if I'm on foot and just running across the desert, I will not get sandwormed. That part of the game is way less annoying than I thought it would be, by the way. Once you have a sand bike, you can just kind of run around with impunity and drive that sucker. As long as you look at the map and plan your routes, you just sort of island hop between like mountains and rock formations. Mm-hmm. What's cool is when you try to force it a little bit, where you're like, all right, I think that distance will be fine. I think if I drive from here to here exactly, I can make it across the sand, and my little sandworm like noise meter will spike a little bit, but like I'll be fine. But when you cut it close, brother, oh, it's terrifying. It's so good.
Oh yeah.
And the sand, the actual sand deforms where the sandworm goes. That looks wonky for right now. Like I think that's one of the things Greg was probably thinking of when he said there's some wonkiness to it.
Yes.
But I have a feeling that over time that kind of stuff will get better. And there's been just a couple of little glitches where like an animation doesn't quite look right. I captured a clip the other day. For some reason, Jason's character was posing like it was still in a vehicle, like steering wheel, feet up, but he was just running around. And so his
awesome.
was on the ground and moving at like sprint speed, just like
That's awesome, dude. I love that.
on the ground.
Those are the best glitches.
And it's just funny, there has not been anything like game breaking. It's been a remarkably smooth launch. I think they did a great job with the beta and gleaned a lot of information from the player base during the beta. It's just been really great. So anyway, highly recommend. It's got the grass toucher stamp of approval, at least from 2 out of 3 of us. And one day,
I
Jared
know I would
will,
like it. That's why I
we'll probably
bought
check it. Yeah.
That's why I haven't bought
I feel
I've been
like
listening to you guys talk about it, and I'm like, wow, this sounds right up my alley. And then I'm like, oh, wait a minute.
You know what I
Sounds
heard
right up
somebody
my
say?
alley.
The Deep
Game
Desert,
Board?
the end game. They said the end game is basically Ark.
Oh, gosh. I really
And I
shouldn't
was
get
like,
this game, dude.
Oh boy, I need to tell Jared, or should I not tell Jared? But now I've told you, so the cat's out of the bag. It's pretty cutthroat, base building, destruction, stuff in the Deep Desert.
What's the situation with the sand crawlers? In my mind, that's like a thing that would be like super. That makes me think of like Eve, that MMO with the spaceships, where like there's people who have spaceships that are like enormous. Like it takes like years to be able to afford one.
So those
game.
crawlers in the movie that are like gargantuan.
Oh, okay.
Those are not what you're using in this game.
Oh, okay.
They are like a semi truck compared to that,
okay,
right?
okay.
They're pretty hefty. They're the biggest ground vehicle in the game.
Okay.
But they're not absolutely ridiculously massive.
Okay.
I've yet to get in one, so
I was going to say, we haven't
I
even
guess I can't
crafted
say
one
more.
yet, right?
no. There's 3 different ornithopters of increasing like material requirement. And we just got the first one, and so after that, then we can even think about the other stuff. But we're probably crafting above our punching above our weight when it comes to crafting, because Jason has been such a materials fiend and going and gathering stuff. He built a buggy a lot sooner than we thought he would, and he actually found a second buggy out in the desert and repaired it.
Which we went and got like 2 nights ago.
Yeah, which is sick because
Do we still have that, or did you get rid of it?
Yeah, we've still got it. He was crafting some new parts for it because some of the treads and stuff weren't worth repairing. You should just throw them away. So he crafted some new parts for it. We have 2 functioning buggies. One of them has a souped up mining laser. The other one has a regular mining laser. I could go on, but suffice it to say, Jared, you would love it. And if you want to stay in control of your life and keep it between the lines, maybe hold off. I don't know. Make some plans. Come up with a time frame as you look on your calendar. Like, all right, I could lose a little sleep right about there this week, and then let us know. I feel like your laptop would run it if the benchmarks that other people have posted are to be believed. But
yeah, I think it would run it, and that is there for all the reasons is the reason I haven't gotten it yet. But ultimately, like, I seriously have been listening. I'm obviously in the same Discord as you guys, so I can see what you guys are saying back and forth.
Yeah.
And like, your friend Jason like posted a map of like the different resources availability.
Yeah,
it's like it speaks straight to my brain, and I want to do it.
yeah.
But I don't want to do it at the same time because I get a little obsessive with these things. I was a little obsessive with a game as bad as Tarkov, so that should tell you.
I know, right?
Dude, Ark, seriously, guys, it's embarrassing to say it, but like when I was really into Ark, like a couple of years ago, I was up till like 4 a.m, like every day. And I was like telling myself at like 1, I was like, all right, 10 more minutes, I'm going to wrap this bad boy up, hit the sack, catch a tight 7, and, be up by 8. No, dude, I was up till like 4:30 in the morning playing that game every night. It's very embarrassing. It's not something I'm
listen,
proud
I get
of.
it.
So I do try and draw the line. That is the one thing with the Dota thing. It's like it's on a match-by-match basis. Same thing with Siege. It's not the type of game where when we get done, I'm like, gotta play more. I'm just like, all right, cool. We got a few in there.
Yeah, with those games, you get your fill, and it feels really obvious when you've gotten your fill.
Right.
Either you get a couple W's and you stop while you're ahead, or you take a couple of L's and you go freak this.
Right. Yeah.
But with this,
Survival-
there isn't a short term like kind of speed bump where you go, oh, yep, I should probably let's just be done for the night. You know,
there's
With
always
these
a
games,
thing. There's always a thing that's like, well, what if I do that, then like I'll be ahead by, you know what I mean? Like especially with games that have passive continuity like these ones do.
Yes.
Like you can be like, but if I do this now, all those resources will be available to me. Then it's very vicious, the cycles with these games. So I watch closely with you guys playing it, and I'm enjoying that you're enjoying it. Maybe I get it. Maybe I buckle and we play. But for now, I am trying to hold.
It's only our literal dream, but go on, Simon.
Yeah, that's crazy though. That's crazy because you guys said that about Siege. You guys got me into Siege, and we've been playing that. So I don't know, dude. I don't know.
And you've
Sounds
enjoyed
scary.
Siege way more than it deserves for you to have enjoyed it.
Yeah, we do. We enjoy
because
Siege.
it's the boys. It's the boys.
Right.
You know?
Right.
Is the boy.
But the way your friend Jason is playing the game is the way that I will play the game, and that's not going to be good for me right now. My wife is going to hate that.
Right. Hey, that's fair. That's fair. If you know thyself, right, and know thine wife.
Right.
if you want to preserve
yeah.
a little sanity, there's nothing wrong with that. I totally understand.
Yeah.
Totally understand. Well, one day when I get a screenshot that Dune Awakening is downloading to your laptop, I will drop everything that I'm doing, if that day comes, and be at your side to shepherd you and Sherpa you through the game.
All right. Thank you.
In other news, we got a couple of Bungie heads in the pod. Both Jared and Greg are Halo guys. I played a fair amount of Destiny. I forget sometimes how much I play Destiny. Upcoming shooter marathon is delayed. Shocker, because a lot of people were like,
Womp.
this sucks. They're not, you guys, they're not even giving a new release date. They're just saying, you'll hear more from us in the fall. I don't really know what we're going to do yet, so we're going to take your feedback. We're listening. We appreciate your passion, and well, stay tuned.
You feel
for
heard.
Updates. And so I have a feeling that in September they're going to be like, game's canceled. But I don't know if they'll, I just don't know. I just don't know what they'll do. Unfortunately for them, there was a very similar game called Arc Raiders, which we did not check out. I heard it was fantastic. I think it would have been a blast, but it had some playtests around the same time that Marathon had playtests, and they went far better than Marathon's. And so I think the kind of YouTube like Mafia really drug Marathon, whereas Arc Raiders was getting all this praise, and that probably didn't help. Not to mention the did you guys see this this issue where Bungie, they stole like the actual ones and zeros assets of some art major dude on the internet and put them in the game. He was able to confirm my graphic design work. Here's the link to my portfolio. Here's a screenshot of Bungie's new game Marathon. That's mine. They took my stuff and put it in the game. And some people were like, prove it, nerd. And he goes, I have a watermark, like sort of calling card signature thing on everything I do in like the bottom left corner. And they zoomed in, and sure enough, it was there. So it wasn't even like a recreation or a borrowing of a art design. It was right click, save as, like, put it in the game. And I don't know if Bungie compensated this person or what the sort of end state is, but it's pretty whack. You guys react, go, Marathon, Bungie, what do we think? Because we watched the trailer together that time.
Yeah, we did. We watched the trailer, and I said that this is a game that I could really enjoy if it was if they make it what it can be. I don't know what to think anymore. Deg, before we started recording, was like, I think I'll just do the entire episode about just like yelling at people for being mean on the internet. Or negative on the internet. And it's like,
yes, dude.
I don't even know what to think anymore, because maybe that's it. Maybe people are just stupid and just they hate anything that isn't what they want it to be, which is entirely unrealistic.
Right.
I don't know. And that the thing with the art, people love to take those types of things and just paint over the entire company with the broadest brush they can find and be like, Bungie confirmed plagiarized, asset stealing whores. And it's like, well,
it's like, the company's worth like $50 billion. So
right. They couldn't
they did something question. What?
Right. One of the executives went on his computer and he's like, gotta save us some money here. I'm gonna steal this guy. It's like, no, it was some idiot, whatever guy who works on the third floor of a 25 floor building, and he was like, I need to get this submitted. I'll just do this. You know what I mean? It's like,
this looks cool.
Like,
I'll just grab this. Right. Who's gonna know?
It's such whatever news to me. I don't care about that. That doesn't affect my opinion on the game. I don't know, man. It's just like it's like the media turnover nowadays is so heavy that I've really found myself just like with Dota. Like I'm just like, I just play Dota. And part of me is just like, I just play fighting games now outside of Dota because I'm like, that's like the only genre in some ways that I feel like they solidify themselves for like years. Those kinds of games, it's like there's just so many games coming out. There's that Claire Obscure game. There's the Doom game. There's the Dune game. I said Doom, D-O-O-N a second ago. There's just all these games coming out all the time. And I can't keep up. Up. And I need to stop trying to keep up.
Nor should you, because if you did, you'd have your life falling apart around you.
It would be over. It would be over, yeah. So, for me, I'm just kind of like, certain games are on my list where it's like Elden Ring. I eventually am going to play Elden Ring. Maybe a couple of generations of consoles passes by before I get to play Elden Ring. I have to play Elden Ring Remastered. The Ultimate Edition for the
Switch 3 edition.
Right for the Xbox 9 or whatever. But I'll get to play it. I am sticking to my genres and my titles and the things that I know at this point, and then the fruit will be separated from the chaff eventually. I think that's kind of where I'm at. It's like if this game is truly worth playing, I'm going to there will be a chance for me to play it. But if I don't get a chance to play it, it's all right.
Yeah,
that's kind of
you gotta kick the FOMO to the curb, right?
You do.
Like there's no such thing as missing out if the games you are playing are fun. It doesn't really matter. Yeah. I think about Siege, I think about Claire Obscure, I think about whether this Arc Raiders thing is any good. Like, there's lots of games that I could be The finals has more cool stuff coming out all the time. They put
I would not hate playing that game again. I mean, like, it was a fun game.
Yeah, it's on like season 7 or something already. Or it's like I forget that game's been out for just long enough that it's got a community. The developers are communicative. They're dropping new stuff. I'm sure the light class is still terrifying to deal with. But they're adding to that game, and the style is still the super slick, stylish thing that it is. So there's lots of games that if you
I can play Gundam,
and you bought a $20 Gundam skin, so like we should probably return to that game. There's a lot of games that I could be playing right now. What do I want to play with the boys? What are we doing? We have lives and wives, right? So we gotta think about these things. But yeah, I concur, Jared. I think it's not that Bungie as a corporation is broadly speaking extremely evil. It's just that like one or two dummy art asset guys made a very poor choice, and I'm sure they've had a slap on the wrist, and I think everything's going to be okay.
And pay the guy that made it and move on.
Go,
it's like more
drop
publicity
that guy
than that guy will ever get, probably.
Yes, actually, that guy has on his resume now once got embroiled in a Twitter feud with Bungie.
Right.
And so I hope they ask for his resume, and they go, hey man, you want a job? Do you want cash? What's up? Sorry, we're Bungie. We got cash. Don't worry about it. So there's that.
Bungie's never made any wildly successful video games ever, so
Yeah, I mean, what are they gonna do? What are they gonna do? I hope that they turn Marathon around because its art style is truly just like so sick. I thought it looked really cool.
There's no way they
I
don't.
watched
By the way,
a lot more
right?
footage of that.
There's no way they cancel that game.
oh no, it's gonna
When's-
be good. It's gonna be really
When's
good.
the last time Bungie had a turd of a game that was irredeemably awful?
Never. I didn't like
Never.
Halo Reach, but the single player was exceptionally good on that one. But I hated
Yeah.
the multiplayer. But that was just because I was
There's
a Halo
people.
boy.
There's people. Right. That's also true. There's people that swear by Halo Wars, the RTS, and they're like,
Yeah.
"Dude, this game was great." And maybe it was. I didn't play it, but maybe it was. There's a very, very, very good chance that that Bungie pulls it off. I think of Destiny when it comes to like
Destiny, but go on.
Excuse me, Destiny.
Thank you.
As far as like improvement over time, there's been patches and seasons and parts of Destiny that dropped, and people were like, the balance sucks. Oh, this isn't any good." And then they just fix it. They just go patch it, they fix it, and they're like, sorry about that. We care about this game. Thank you for your feedback. Here we go. So I bet they'll figure it out. It's just that unlike Destiny, this game has nothing. There's no precedent for this game. It's a new IP, and so they need to, tread lightly and make sure that they measure twice and cut once and deliver a quality start to the game.
We also live in a weird era where like we don't get bad games anymore. People complain. Everything is relative, and everybody likes to just. That's exactly the point that I think Deg is upset about. It's like people just want to complain. It's not that everything sucks. I mean, in a certain sense, there's a lot of stuff out there that sucks, and I hate it, but not because it's not well made. It's usually because of some other reason, and that's mostly what it is now. It's like, if they released Marathon today, it could have some problems, but it's like if you line up a Toyota Camry, a 2025 Toyota Camry with like a fast car from like a 95 Mustang or something, some kind of like car that looks like it's built for speed, and the Camry just blows it out of the water because it's just like we're at a place where like the tech is just better. And it's
Even
like,
the Camrys are good. I don't know what to tell you.
yeah. It's like that's just how it is. It's like games, for the most part, can't just be like unplayably bad. Like when we were kids, they would release like THQ would release like some licensed Nickelodeon game that was just dog, and it was like not playable. And we don't have that anymore because now.
And we bought it. I bought the Grinch Dreamcast game.
Oh my gosh!
Like that game was Osama bin Laden's taint. Bad. It was terrible. But guess who bought it? Me and 40 million other people.
Right. It's that was a bad game. And you guys probably weren't complaining. You probably were putting Marvel vs. Capcom 2 back in about playing it, but
New Age of Heroes.
New Age of Heroes. Dude, I love that game so much. But
It's so good.
I just mean to say that it's like I'm so tired of
guys are
listening
so
to people
gay.
complain, and I just if it's great, I'll play it. I think that's
Right.
where we were at. I don't know.
That's right, dude. I feel you. Well, that brings us to the Microsoft Xbox plans that are taking shape. They've started kind of teasing by proxy, let's say, right? There's not a teaser trailer that Microsoft is dropping, and Xbox, Twitter account isn't like tune in next week for, But there's an official partnership that's formed between AMD and Xbox, and there's been some talk about the ROG Ally Xbox thing that happened recently. There's like an Asus ROG Xbox Ally. Mm-hmm. It's got an Xbox button on it, and it can theoretically in the future play Xbox games natively, which is a cool topic of discussion. And they're talking about how consoles will be very PC like, so that you could have a controller in your hand, Xbox 17XXXX on your entertainment center there, and you could boot up Steam, or you could boot up just an Xbox game, or you could boot up, Armory Crate Asus Republic of Gamers Land or whatever third-party thing you want to boot up. I just think that's really interesting, the potential for that much backwards compatibility, because it's basically a PC and it's not just a like bricked in like native Xbox platform only. I think that'd be really sick. It's kind of a dream come true. What do you guys think about that?
I like it in a way as somebody who already has an Xbox. It's the same reason why I bought a Steam Deck, is because I was like, hey, I got all these games on Steam. Why not make better use of like the things I already own? I believe I've heard rumors that the price point is like around like a little under $1,000. That's too much for me.
Oh Lord, I haven't heard that rumor. That's insane.
Yeah. So
this really is like, instead of building a PC, you just grab one of these suckers.
Right.
Oh my gosh.
Right. That's where things are heading now. I mean, that's why I was a little grumpy with Nintendo with the Switch 2. Is just like, the precedent is being shifted from like games are fun, games are to enjoy, to like you're a gamer. Put your entire paycheck into this if you care about gaming.
Are you in the gamer militia or not? This is the Republic of Gamers.
Right. It's this thing where like we're being kind of bullied into like, buy a $500 GPU for your computer.
Right.
I get it. Look, I get it. Computers can be used for lots of things, but people are building gaming PCs. They are built to play games on, and they cost $2,000.
Yeah.
And it's I think it's just kind of a slippery slope. It's like, where are we going with this? It's like consoles are supposed to be the affordable entryway into playing games, and now we're shifting away from that to where it's like, do you want the top level system? Then you better be willing to fork out $700 for Sony's new PlayStation 5 Pro Edition, which I'm sure it's great. I'm sure it's powerful. But it's like, it's the Xbox got so much flack for releasing the Series S before. And I get it, because developers were like, this thing bottlenecks us completely. It's so hard to develop on because it's so weak. But hey, it was the cheapest console you could get pretty much at that level.
How much was it when they came out?
It was $300, I believe, because the S was $300 and the X was $500.
Yeah, it was a big jump. It wasn't like original and Pro or original and Slim. It was like, this is a different console. Like, this is a different level.
And that's, I mean, to be fair, at the time, that is not how they advertised it. It was kind of like the S and the X. You can play both the same games on both of them, but if you like,
they didn't
it was
say
like
so. But
it was like 4K gaming is great on the X, and then like over time, slowly it turned into like, what are you, gay? You have an Xbox Series S? Are you serious? Your dick is small. And it's
also,
like,
4K gaming is not great on the X.
Right.
Do you remember when Cyberpunk released and it was like, oh, well, if you've got the Series X, you should be good for sure.
Right.
And it was like, nah, dog,
Potato
I'm not.
Quality. Yeah.
Just because it says 4K 60 doesn't mean, like, the Switch 2 can supposedly do 4K 60. Yeah, maybe in Mario Party or whatever.
Right. That's all it is. People used to clown Reggie Fils-Aimé and Miyamoto about like the Wii and how it was goofy and weird. And I know I brought this up last time, but it's a point that I want to reinforce. It's like, that guy knew what he was doing. He created Mario, and he was like, these games are supposed to be fun. It's supposed to be about having fun. It's not supposed to be about like, time to lock in, Halo 2 soundtrack. Blow me away. Only the strongest will survive. As awesome as that was, there needs to be a Nintendo on the market that's like, hey, let's have fun. Let's do a fun thing. And the Wii was a great console. They sold a lot of them. They had a ton of great titles.
Like hotcakes,
yeah. And everybody laughed at them, but it ended up being this really accessible, fun thing. And gaming is like moving away from that into this zone where like we're as much as I love sports also, we're creating a generation of like athletic retard. Like, I play club sports. I play Fortnite competitively. I got my mic on. I'm talking trash. I'm talking about other kids' moms. And it's like,
kill me now.
Let's split the difference. I like that. I like the competitive nature. I don't like turning kids into like fire into weapons. They're like they're like dangerous. Children are like
they are weapons grade retarded.
Right.
when they get up on that Fortnite, like I picture, because here I lump a couple of things into like one bundle, right? Where there's like, you know, the kid that steals mommy's credit card and donates $50 a month to his favorite streamer, right? Okay. And all that streamer has ever done for him was,
whoa, Raphael
Mom
69,
thanks for the 4 months. That's it. And that happens. He goes, thanks, Bamboozler 69 for the 4 months. Mm-hmm. And that kid, his world lights up. And he's drinking his gamer sups, and he's got like a Under Armour shirt on for some reason.
Right.
And he's got a sleeve, and he plays Fortnite competitively. Right. And it's like, that's not the person we need. We don't need those. No, don't do that. No, that sucks, man. Like, it's okay to call it an esport, I guess. We're sort of past the point of no return on that. But I don't think it's okay to keep going as an industry down this path of like hardcore. Right. I as much as I like to turn up my nose at cutesy Nintendo stuff because it's not really for me, you're absolutely right that it has its place. My kids, we just found our Switch. I don't know if I told you guys, my kids like lost the Switch.
That's right. You found it.
Yes, dude. I can confirm that the Switch is found. Dog. So I said I was going to wrap it up, but here we go.
I'm sorry.
So my wife and I are talking to each other, and we go, "Hey, my brother, he's selling his Switch." He said, "Hey, he just wanted to give it to us because he felt bad that we lost ours, and he has a Steam Deck, and he doesn't really want to Switch anymore." He's like, "I'll just give it to you. I don't care." And I was like, "No, I'm going to give you like some money for it, like you know." So he goes, "Tell you what, I got the Switch. I got the Switch Lite that my ex-wife doesn't, want, and I just still have. I also have an Xbox One, not the X, just Xbox One." Xbox One X? Yeah, Xbox One X. Not the Series X now. Don't get it twisted. The Xbox won't boot up. It's got some kind of problem. You work in IT. Maybe you can fix it. I'm going to give you all of this. I just don't want it. Get out of my house. And I was like, all right, here's $100. Thanks, bro. Like, that's cool. Yeah. And so the kids are like, oh, we have a Switch again. Woohoo. And I was like, clean your room. And then we come home, and my wife goes, you know what? There's this spot in the couch. The Switch wouldn't fit in there, would it? I lost my phone in there almost one time, but the Switch, the joysticks.
No.
And I was like, the spot in the couch, what are you talking about? I've never heard tell of this. What are you talking about? And she goes, yeah, if you take the cushions off, there's like this spot between the back and the seat. There's a...
Right. Where
and
the
I just
raccoons
looked at her.
Get birth in the little pocket in there.
And I looked at my wife, and I went straight to the couch, and I ripped the cushions off, and I dug my hand in there, and I felt my fingers go across the A, B, and X, Y buttons, and I felt my thumb flick a joystick, and I was like, and I looked at her, and she was like, oh, no way, and I was like, yeah, it's
crazy.
Just in there. So I rescue it from the jaws of death, throw it on the dock, and now we have 2 Switches, a Switch Lite, and a busted Xbox that I tried to download an offline update, and it's not taking it. I think it's just toast. But so we have a Switch again, and I'm telling you, the way my kids light up when they play Minecraft together, the way that they beg each other, hey, let's play Lego Horizon Zero Dawn. Yeah, woo, let's do it. They pulled up Super Smash, and they were re-engaging with Super Smash, and they put on 99 stock, no time limit, just chaos,
Jeez.
And just like, it was like in the span of 2 days, they like made up for all this lost time where they hadn't had a Switch, So now we got one in the bonus room in here, we got one in the living room, we got a dock for both of them, and it's like these kids are in hog heaven. It's the summertime. My wife just had her last day at her job yesterday. She's a stay-at-home wife for the rest of the summer.
Oh wow!
And
that's
like,
beautiful.
Life is good, And I gotta give it up to Nintendo on that one.
Mm-hmm.
It's like the Switch. It doesn't need graphical horsepower. It needs those first-party sweet games.
Right. Yeah, I agree. I completely agree. And Dag, I think I took all of your time. I'm sorry.
It's all good. I don't have anything to add.
Okay.
Yeah. Are you stoked on DK Bonanza, Douglas?
Oh, I am. Yes.
Yeah, listeners, I'll tell you what. Rather than get into DK Bonanza right now, I'm going to leave you hanging. I'm going to edge you a little bit here, listener. I need you to look at. I need you to look at the description of this episode and click the link to the article about the Nintendo Direct. DK Bonanza is coming at you hard and fast and strong. It's gonna be a game. Of all the games, it's one of them. Yeah. So check it out.
Click the
link.
Click the link that says that. Click the nin.tendo.ru.trojan
.exe.
.exe and check out the newest secret information on DK Bonanza. So
that's right, dude. Never before released.
Get your parents' permission. Psych. Are you only if you're lame?
That's right. Well, folks. Let us know what you think about Dune Awakening. Are you playing it? Do you need a guild? Because I got you covered. Do you want to see Marathon come out shining on the other end of this catastrophe almost launch? Have you played Arc Raiders? Do you care? What up with Xbox? Are you going to get DK Bonanza? Let us know in the comments and share Grass Touchers with your friends. Find us on Instagram and YouTube at 3GrassTouchers. And until next time, don't forget, get out there and touch some grass.